When someone comes to you and says, I need coaching, what are they looking for?
Well, they're not specifically looking for voice coaching, I can tell you that. If you look at the videotapes available of Keir Starmer speaking many years ago before he'd had voice coaching, and the tapes of him speaking nowadays, it's still the same. He's still so wooden that he'd make an excellent coffee table. What really politicians need is to have both content and delivery focused on at the same time, because your voice is only the delivery system. If you're trying to launch a missile that's got no decent warhead, you're not going to make any impact.
Well, let's take Keir Starmer. You've worked with a number of Conservatives, but if you got the call from Keir Starmer, what would you do to him?
I would suggest that he, rather than focusing on his voice, he focused on saying less cliches. Let me be clear. I will take no lectures from the party opposite. I'm getting on with the job of fixing the foundations and filling the black hole and delivering for the hard-working British families. Those aren't political messages, they're word-shaped air, and he will only have more impact if he focuses on getting his messages across with fresh wording.
I mean, presumably it does actually work. Does it? I mean, because you might say it's in the nature of the person that, you know, Keir Starmer has been a very successful lawyer. That's what he presents. Can you transform someone at the age of 60 into something different?
If you've got somebody who is determined to change, is prepared to put the effort in and prepared to put the time in, yes, you can. But it does mean that you've got to deal with content and delivery as two inextricably linked elements, like the strands of a DNA molecule. You can't just deal with one at a time.
I suppose perhaps the most famous transformation of modern times, someone we talked about already this morning, Margaret Thatcher. This was Margaret Thatcher before she underwent coaching.
I've been so busy that I haven't had really much time to think about it. After all, I know I'm still only me, and so do my family. But I'm very much aware of the responsibilities and a little bit apprehensive. Who wouldn't be when you think of the names that I follow?
And then we can listen to her after she had some coaching.
Let me answer that very deeply, because I feel very strongly about it. The greatest divisions this nation has ever seen were the conflicts of trade unions towards the end of a Labour government.
I suppose you'd say the big change is becoming much more emphatic and less apologetic, perhaps.
Indeed so, but also she is indeed the shining example of a politician who did benefit hugely from voice coaching. It was sort of realised in the inner circle around her in the mid-1970s that her voice, especially during the bear pit of Prime Minister's questions, sounded a little too high-pitched and a little too shrill, but she managed to make it into a magnificent weapon.